Hi, y'all, and welcome back to Crooked Creek. Today it's Christmas Eve. And I'd like to share with you a little story about Isla Mae and her pa. They're living out on Crooked Creek now with Grandma because early in the spring, Isla Mae's mama died from the typhoid fever. So they're just a bit sad. But it is Christmas Eve, and Grandma's doing all she can to help them feel a little bit more merry. She's in the kitchen cooking up a big feast for all the rest of the family that's coming the next day on Christmas. She sends Isla Mae out in her little garden to get some holly and berries to decorate the hearth and decorate the Christmas tree. And now, something you need to know about Isla Mae: she has to wear real thick glasses because she can't see very well without them. But she's so excited about it being Christmas and decorating that she runs out without her glasses on. She gets almost to the holly bush. She looks up, and there she sees it. What she thinks is a big old monster. It's really Otis hanging by his tail on the nearby tree. She looks up and she goes, "Oh my goodness," in her most cityfied voice. She's a little cityfied girl, you know. "Oh my goodness, there is a monster hanging from the tree. Oh my goodness, oh my goodness." And she's so afraid, she's scared Otis, and it's actually Otis hanging by his tail from that tree. And while he did what any self-respecting possum would do, he fell right to the ground and played dead. Well, my goodness, now not only does she have a monster, she's got a dead monster, and she just screams, oh my goodness, Pa, she says, and she runs in the house to get Pa, and as soon as she gets in the house, Otis jumps up, brushes himself off, and he runs out in the woods where his buddy Cletus is. Well, now Cletus is his buddy the raccoon, and he goes, "What in the world is wrong with you?" And he goes, "Well, Cletus," he says, "you'll just never guess that little girl, she thinks I'm a monster, a dead monster." And they just start laughing. Now, they'd been watching Isla Mae for quite some time, and they knew she was kind of sad. They could tell, and they got soft hearts. They were just kind of looking in on her from time to time. So they got everything all decorated, and everything was ready, and except there was one problem. Grandma has a bad habit. She was cooking dinner, and her dentures don't quite fit right. So she just took them out of her mouth and laid them down somewhere. She just couldn't remember where she laid them. So she went to bed that night, not knowing where they were, and they had looked high and low, and they got the tree ready and got the hearth all decorated. So they went on to bed, and she was thinking she might not get to have her Christmas dinner the next day, but at least she'd be with her family. Well, Otis and Cletus noticed that night that the star, this beautiful big star, comes and rests right over the country house, right where Isla Mae and her pa and her grandma are sleeping. And there's this bright, soft light in one of the windows. And well, you may not know this about Otis and Cletus, but they're very, very curious about things. So they just kind of slowly get their way up to that window, and they look in. They don't know what they're seeing, but I can tell you what they're seeing. They're seeing an angel, a Christmas angel. Looks just like Isla Mae's mama. And she's in there singing Silent Night and Away in the Manger and all snuggled up with Isla Mae. And Isla Mae's got this most beautiful smile on her face. And well, that Christmas angel stayed in there almost all night. Isla Mae woke up the next morning. It was Christmas. She ran out of her room, right across the hall to Pa's room, and said, Pa, you'll just never guess. A Christmas angel came to visit me last night. She looks just like Mama, and she sang all our favorite songs. He had a big smile on his face because that Christmas angel had come to visit him too. Oh, they were so much more happy. That was their best Christmas gift. So they go on down into the kitchen. And sure enough, Grandma's got her coffee. She's sitting there waiting for him in the family room, in the parlor. And there they are, sitting in front of the tree. And Santa Claus had come that night, and he brought a gift for Grandma, and it was in a nice little box. He said, "To Grandma." And Grandma was all excited because she hadn't had a present from Santa before. She opens it up, and there's a little note that says, "Grandma, I thought you might like these. I found them under the Christmas tree." And sure enough, it was her dentures. And so she was able to enjoy her Christmas dinner that day. And back in the corner, way back in the corner, there was a little bitty box. Pa had to reach in with his long arms and get it, and it was for Isla Mae. She opened it up, and it was a little music box, and on top of it was a little crystal angel. You could wind it up, and it played Silent Night and Away in the Manger and all their favorite Christmas carols. And even to this day, Isla May gets that out at Christmas, and she shares it with her children and her grandchildren. It's the most wonderful thing. Well, I want to tell you what Isla May learned. It's the real moral of the story. You see that star that came that night? By the way, it kept coming because Otis and Cletus would notice it every Christmas. They didn't know what it was, they're just woodland animals. But that very same star over that farmhouse was the same star that shone over a manger in Bethlehem about 2,000 years ago. And it shone its light on the real gift of Christmas, the baby in a manger, the Prince of Peace, the Savior of the world. And what Isla May learned was it's not the Christmas gifts under the tree, it's not the things that you can buy with money, but it was the gift that the star was shining on, the gift that brought hope and joy and peace and love to the whole world. Just like the waters of Crooked Creek, sometimes they're loud and rumbling and roaring, and sometimes they're kind of quiet, and sometimes they're overflowing. So are the gifts of Christmas. And all of our friends here at Crooked Creek, including Otis and Cletus, want to wish you a very Merry Christmas, that you may have the true gifts of Christmas, that they would be just like the waters of Crooked Creek. Love and joy, peace and hope, passed on from generation to generation. They want to wish you the merriest of Crooked Creek Christmases. And remember, live right, do good, and look up. And when you look up on Christmas this year, if you're really seeking, if you're really wanting to see it, you'll find that star of Christmas. And you'll find those real gifts of Christmas, because they'll come to live in your heart. It's the best gifts. So Merry Christmas from Crooked Creek. Y'all come back now, you hear? Merry Christmas.